Andrew?
Yeah.
Why am I like taped up in a chair?
Oh, you know.
I don't know. Why? It's much colder on the top of my head. What's going on?
After all these years of podcasting, I thought you would finally give it up.
I'm sorry, what?
You would just admit it.
Admit what?
That
Buddy?
you're an alien podcaster.
Andrew, what's going on?
You're from the planet Podcastima.
I'm sorry, Podcastima?
Yeah, Podcastima.
We've started this show in 2017. Are you telling me?
Yeah.
Since 2017, that you've thought I'm some sort of alien from... What was it again?
Podcastima.
Podcastica?
Yeah, your home planet. You're acting like you don't know. And obviously, I had to shave your hair off your head because that's your microphone. You use your hair as your microphone.
Hair is my microphone?
Yes, Justin.
I went to your wedding.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I thought that you would finally give it up. But now, you're going to take me to Podcastima.
I'm going to... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The great gathering of podcasters is happening.
Oh, my God.
And you'll take me to your podcast leader.
Okay. I think we need to make something very clear that this is a brand new episode of Nothing New, a Remake podcast. Hello, I am from Podcastica. Yeah, you got me. You got me. Also known on Earth as Justin Quizon. And with me is my kidnapper and co-host.
I'm the great conspiracy theorist, Andrew Linde.
Today's episode is a very interesting set of films, and I will spoil by saying I am very much looking forward to this conversation because by the time I got to the end of the newer film, I genuinely would love to know what your thoughts are on the comparison of both these movies. We are talking about Save the Green Planet from 2003
and Bugonia from 2025.
Okay. I want to get this out of the way. We've actually talked about this is something you brought up before we started recording. I'm going to get out of the chair. Okay.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I'm bleeding everywhere. We actually haven't really done, and we've done some, it's not like we haven't, but we haven't really done a ton of other languages to other languages remake movies. And whether that's one language from another country to English or vice versa. But to be fair, it's a very, 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 very common thing to do. But it just shows how much in our own country remakes are that we haven't even touched the surface of it that much. We've done a little bit of it. We've like Jimbo to A Fistful of Dollars, etc. But we haven't done a lot, and specifically in the realm of Korean films, we've done My Sassy Girl.
Right. Yes.
That was a long time ago, though. So, and this one is interesting because the fact that as soon as I found out who was directing the remake, I'm like, well, that is interesting. That's an interesting choice, especially the fact that it's also 22 years since the original film. So this is not even a movie that was like trying to chase a trending or hip popular foreign film. This was a film that took its time essentially to be redone in another language. Shall we just jump straight to Save the Green Planet?
Yeah.
We just go over the rainbow.
Justin, you have a DVD copy of Save the Green Planet.
I do. Yeah.
That is so fascinating to me. How did this movie even get on your radar?
So around the early 2000s, I was getting really invested in learning more about South Korean films. So obviously movies like the Park Chan-wook Vengeance trilogy, and I started learning more and more about other films from Korea that I was like, oh, these look kind of cool and these look kind of great. One of the actors from Mr. Vengeance, the lead guy in that movie, I caught a trailer to a movie where I recognized that the trailer of this the music they used for the trailer was the somewhere over the rainbow cover from the band Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, like a pop punk band. And in the trailer, he's wearing this like wild outfit. He's got this wild headset with a satellite. And there's even a bit in the trailer where it looks like he's doing like martial arts over a dude. And he's yelling at some guy, claiming that dude's an alien. And I'm like, what is this movie? And then I found out it's Save the Green Planet. I learned about that from like a couple cult film cinema websites or just foreign film interest websites, things like that. So thankfully, in 2005, someone did release the movie in the States with English subtitles. From the company is just if you're curious, the company is Koch Lorber. I don't know if they have any connection to Kino Lorber, but it seems like maybe they do. They look very similar. And I bought the movie and I showed it to a bunch of friends. We all watched it together for the first time, and I never forgot it. Never forgot it. But I did hear about them wanting to remake it, and so I've always like was curious what was going to happen with that. You know, that's how I got on my radar for sure.
That's so like I love that because that's so like original film nerd stuff. Like I remember kind of we're gonna have our old man moment. That's the old days.
Back in the days,
you would just buy a movie and watch a trailer on the DVD and be like, what was that? We're gonna go find that thing. But yeah, this is like a very classic DVD situation.
Well, and I had to hunt for it.
Yeah, right. That's the other thing.
I couldn't like just buy it offline. I had to like, I had to like go through several like used stores, and like eventually I found it. I believe I found it at Amoeba in LA. You know, I had to dig through their collection, and I found it there, and I went, and I grabbed it immediately. You know, well, most films get streamed nowadays, even foreign films, and. Now, you know, the back in the days, in the old days, you had to hunt. Use your feet. You had to go through several boutique or like niche video stores to find stuff like that.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about this director.
Yes. Yeah.
Jang Joon Hwan. This was his first feature.
Yes.
He'd done some shorts before this, but I think this is like really impressive as a first feature.
Oh my God. Right.
Like totally. It's very, it has its own style. It's able to also like mimic other styles when it wants to do that. Like when he's trying to evoke certain other things that are going on in the movie. Like you said, the where he's like having like a fight with someone else. That's, you know, that's a dream sequence. It's like him imagining it, but it's shot in a different style from the rest of the film.
Yes.
And it also is shot in the style of those like fighting films. So it's it's like he is playing with the form, even in this. He's not just like, I'm just gonna make my straight ahead movie. He's like, no, I'm gonna throw everything into it that I love about other movies.
There is so much, and I say this complimentary, other films in the DNA of this movie that is sort of hard to deny. There is in the story there's misery.
Yes, that he had said that was his inspiration.
Right.
Was that if he ever wanted to make a movie about a kidnapping, he wanted it from the perspective of the kidnapper.
Yes.
Because he watched Misery and thought, well, what else is Kathy Bates up to?
Right. Exactly.
Which is such a funny thing to watch Misery and be
that's
like,
what you took out of it.
To be like, and what's her story?
Why is Anne Wilkes the way she is?
Yeah.
I see even a touch of like Taxi Driver.
Right.
I see vibes of like Tim Burton and like Men in Black. I see.
I even think he's definitely he does the 2001 thing.
Oh yeah, like, clearly. So yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, he does the Kubrick shit.
Yeah, but then he makes it his own. Like it's, you know, it's very interesting.
It's I going into back to the lead, Shin Hye-kyun, who plays Lee. I think he's the glue to make the whole thing work. I mentioned like there's an element of Taxi Driver, I feel, and that part of that is I feel like it's the element of the lead character who's sort of in his own world, sort of absolutely in his own world, but you still kind of find him compelling. And his performance is just like, it's big, but also I kind of get where he's coming from. The movie does a strange thing of like making you question a lot. Is he actually just an insane guy? Or is he actually telling the truth? Is he onto something? Or is he just crazy? And the movie does so many roller coasters to make you question that. And it only works because he is so dedicated to the world he lives in. Again, if you ever seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, he's really great there, and a complete 180 of performance from this movie. It's not even, it's a very different performance. He's really great in that one. But here it's energy high and manic and just wild,
I think for someone listening who kind of wants more of a point of reference, I mean, we'll get into all the nitty gritty details, but it is the same setup as Bugonia. It is a man who believes that some people on Earth are aliens pretending to be humans, and he has kidnapped a high-powered CEO and is going to torture him until he admits it. And he's also, in his mind, if he can get this guy to cooperate, he will save the world.
Right.
Like, it is not just like, oh, I think there's aliens and they're doing something. No, I need to stop them from destroying Earth. Like, I will save the world.
And it's not just him.
Right.
He has an accomplice, and the accomplice is a character named Sun-Ni, played by Hwang Jung-min, and she, fascinating character. There are so many questions about like what she does. Where'd she come from? How did she even get in Lee's life? And the movie doesn't really explain any of that. But she's a very interesting counter to Lee's mania.
Yeah.
She,
I don't know if this is drawing from like a trope or something in South Korean or even Asian cinema, but she is like childlike. She has like a doll that she plays with. She's like very quiet and like subservient to him. Like it's very much like, it's a girlfriend, but it's not like a very tender, loving. It's like, oh, I take care of him, that, and he takes care of me. Like I really was like, this for the first time I saw her on screen, I was like, is this supposed to be his mom? Like, I was like, she looks incredibly young. I was like, this does not match at all. I'm like, what is this movie weirder than I thought? And it's like, no, it's like his little weird girlfriend.
Yeah. No, like she's also like a tightrope walker.
Circus performer.
Performer.
She does the tightrope.
Yeah. So it's very like it seems really almost nonsensical, but because I think she does allow to have some sort of emotional innocence to the whole events, it pretty much mostly works. Especially with the fact that Lee's not really taking advantage of her, but like there is an emotional need of each other. Then of course there's the CEO, Kang Mon-sik, played by Byung-sik. I'm not familiar with this actor, but they do a pretty good established job that he's kind of a piece of shit.
The first time you see him, he's drunk, presumably. He's been driven home to his penthouse. And then he shorts the driver. The driver says, oh, it's $40 or whatever. And he's like, oh, here's 20, And it's like, oh, this is a bad person. Like, you're just like, oh, not only is he, a CEO, which is like, come on. Back in 2003, maybe they didn't make as well. They probably did. They made that much more, but now they make that much more. Where it's like, you didn't earn this money. Like, what's your deal?
No, that bit with the not paying the taxi driver is like, taxi driver's trying his best to be really nice and really polite. But when he told him his set price, it is a set price. It has to be $40. It's not because he's overcharging him. He was like, "That's stupid." Well, no, you need to give me 40. No, I know.
Yeah.
Like, he pushes him off, And I think also they've established other things. Oh, he's cheating on his partner and like just a corporate.
Right. Yes, they have. Yeah. It's when he's spying on him to catch him as an alien.
Yeah.
He catches him like having multiple affairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not a great person.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually, this is a lot of the opening is establishing this concept, establishing the world, and seeing Lee's and Suni like do the kidnapping, which leads into the first of several versions of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now, again, I mentioned in the first trailer I saw, they used the Me First and the Gimme Gimme covers, an American band. But what's interesting is that the opening credit sequence still uses essentially that cover, but clearly a Korean band covered the cover.
Oh.
Because it doesn't, it's almost the same like beats, it's almost the same tone. Even they do a lot of the same notes, but the way they sing it, I went, that's a Korean band doing English. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if that's just simply they couldn't get the rights or something, but it's an interesting difference, which is fine, But there are a couple other versions that we hear throughout the film, and I think that's sort of kind of echoing back into the theme of just sort of like Lee hoping for something better outside of what they're going through. Not super subtle. The movie's not subtle. I want to be very clear on
No,
this.
and this movie's I think it's funnier than Bugonia. I just want to say that up front.
Let's just get that out of the way.
I think it's more focused on the comedy aspects to the point of things being very over the top. Like during the kidnapping sequence, which some of it is mirrored in Bugonia, but they play it more for comedy when he's diving to catch the CEO. Like he's jumping and flying through the air.
Right.
And then just so much of the other there's like a way later scene where he's trying to hide something from another character, Lee, and he does like a back toe kick where he turns off a TV with his toe. That's ridiculous. That's like so silly.
There is a huge level, I wouldn't say camp, but just high cartoonish comedy throughout the film. Like that sequence you're talking about is he's hiding from a detective character who is investigating the missing CEO. But he is kind of investigating Lee because he heard some information that maybe ties to Lee, but he can't find much about it. But there was so much levels of high comedy through the whole movie, including the sequence. Like there's this bit where like a hand has to be crushed to hide from the detective. The bit you're talking about, Lee yells like, "Oh my God, it's a UFO!" out the window.
So they go run and look out the window.
Yeah.
And then while they're doing that, he manages to like stretch his foot backwards,
and perfectly
like,
press,
kick into the air, and then press the button on the remote to turn off the TV that would have shown that he had a guy hidden in his basement.
I love Lee's actual expression when he realized it was a UFO, and he's in there kind of going, "You missed it." Just missed it.
This detective character is kind of interesting. Because he has a connection into the remake, but not all of the detective storyness does. There's more of a detective story going on with this plot.
There are a series of cops doing their best to figure out what's going on.
Detective Chu is the main one.
Yeah, this is the one who we're kind of following.
Who we're following, and he's like, it's not that he's retired. It's like he's like on leave or something.
It's kind of like, and he's kind of been in punishment, it looks like, too. Right. Like they kind of put him in a, like they have him like forced to do kitchen work at the police station, even though he's supposedly a really good detective. There's also like this sort of like head detective on the case who's kind of this arrogant jerk, who's like throwing his weight around, and
then there's the young guy.
There's the young guy.
Like this is where like tropes come in, where it's like, okay, the young guy goes to the older guy for help, and the older guy's like, "You want to stay away from me? I'm in trouble." It's like, okay, I know these beats.
This is something that's very just unique to just this movie. It's like this whole cop sequence, and Detective Chu, like has this extended sequence with Lee that does sort of like is the big kind of like tension in the film is like, does the guy realize that Lee has the CEO?
Right.
The stuff also in this movie concerning the, to put it simply, torture
Yeah.
of the CEO is reminiscent of a lot of like kind of weird horror tropes that were coming around in the early 2000s in the world post Saw. Even though it's kind of was coming out around, it came out around the time before Saw came out, so I wouldn't really say it was going off of that. But there was this weird like torture horror that was kind of becoming a little relevant in the time period.
I'm trying to think of other movies around that time, but I see what you mean. It is like the grungy basement.
Yeah.
Where it's like the tools are gross. I don't know.
It's like a lot of green.
Like yes, a lot of green.
A lot of green.
Low lighting, flickering lights. Yeah, like a wet basement.
Yeah,
like,
wet, very wet.
Yeah, very specific type of thing like that.
Yeah. So Hostel, probably another film I can think of. It's kind of like that. And like, I know, it was just
and then the security system too kind of feels like that's in other things. I can't think of anything specific, but it's like the very specific kind of security system that is like a video monitor.
Yes.
Like, but it's so basic. It's like a video monitor and an alarm.
Yeah.
It's not high tech, but it's not, we're into the video world.
Yeah.
So it's that style of,
It's also like the torture stuff is like, it's the stuff that you kind of like wondering like how far can you push any sympathy you might have on Lee, the more he does this. And that's sort of been the balancing of the movie is like, yes, we establish that Kang is a terrible person or alien, but does he deserve the wild torture that Lee's putting him through? You kind of, I don't know, like sometimes it's like, oh no, maybe maybe you don't need to put that weird scrubbing his skin off to put the menthol thing on his feet. That's, which is like one of the more kind of, I wouldn't say the easiest, but not as like intense stuff that's implied. No, it's funny. He's like, I remember at one point he's explaining to Sunyi like, oh, these are the weak points.
Yeah.
His feet, his eyeballs, and his.
Yeah. And like, he won't say it, but the camera shows a drawing of male genitals. And I remember watching it recently when I did the rewatch it, recently. I was like, technically speaking, that's just weak points for all of us. But and that's like another, like that is played for comedy when he won't say the word. It's like there are a lot of beats in this that, as horrific as it is, it's like, oh yeah, we have to torture him this way. It's like, wait, this is supposed to be funny, but it pulls off a lot of the humor.
It does.
Yeah.
No. I think there's a real dedication to the kind of humor it wants to do, and I think it pretty much succeeds in that humor. What do you think about like how the movie is trying to like make you second guess a lot of the stuff you're seeing?
Well, I will admit I watched Bugonia first. So in my mind, I figured it was going to follow. I really actually thought it wouldn't follow so closely, but it does.
Yeah.
And another funny thing that this movie does, as far as making you guess or having tension, is that compared to Bugonia, it reveals a lot of things earlier.
Yes.
You find out so much about like there's like a very early thing where this is not the first guy that has been kidnapped by Lee.
Yeah.
And knowing that so up front is like, oh, what happened to those other people? Like you start to, the dread sets in of like, whoa, wait a second. Like, where did that all go?
Yeah.
If you thought this was the first and only person that he took, it's like, oh, well, who knows what's going to happen. But this is like, oh, there's a really bad ending. And then there's, as the movie, I think we can just come out and say it. Because if you haven't watched the movie by now, here it is. It's going to be a big topic for the rest of the show.
And especially with Bugonia being out, and I'll just rip this Band-Aid off. They are actually fairly close structurally.
Yeah.
He's an alien.
Yeah.
He is an alien.
He is an alien. Which is, to me, in both, we'll let Bugonia aside. In this film, it raises so many questions.
Well, and I want to say, because I didn't watch Bugonia first. I decided to go ahead and rewatch this one first. Rewatch this again. when I first watched it, I genuinely didn't know. Like, I'm like, is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Even at the very end, I'm like, oh man, this is
when
really
he tells
dark.
the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that is where they bring in the 2001 monolith imagery.
Yeah.
Where it's like these Andromedans came to Earth. They saw the dinosaurs. They were like, whoa, we love dinosaurs. They abducted one, accidentally killed all the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So then they had to repopulate the Earth with their own like DNA structure.
That's why they look so
That's
similar.
why humans and Andromedans look similar.
Yeah.
But then when they're born, it's like they're born attached to the monolith. Like, it's so like bizarre. But then it becomes like something went wrong. They're too violent.
Yeah.
So then, and it like ties into like, this one specifically ties into like religious motifs, like religious ideas of like Noah's Ark, like all the people went into one space and were frozen while the earth blew up. They described like, oh, that original human population had a nuclear war and then these ones survived. And then, millions of years later tried to repopulate. And that's why we have evolution, because they for some reason, they gave birth to monkeys. It's like, this story is so like elaborate and crazy. Yeah. And you're like, after like however many days it's been, has this CEO lost his mind? And he's like, the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I can tell a crazier story than this guy believes.
And what's so great about that sequence is that like, he does this whole, it's elaborate and it's like, really, he's confident in telling it. It's so detailed.
Yeah.
And then Lee looks at it looks like Lee's like, okay. Then he looks at his own desk. And then you start seeing the images that he is referring to in a book that Lee has. And then I almost made the joke where in my head where Lee went, were you trying to freaking Kaiser Soze me right now? With my shit?
Yeah.
Man, I know you're full. So then Lee's own, again, crazy, is still going, no. I know you're lying to me but then he answers back with whatever lore that's in his head.
Yeah.
Or not lore, as we find out, right? Like, how much of actually what Lee really knows, who fucking knows? But he seems to know a lot.
That's the thing that is so crazy to me about the whole idea of Lee was right.
Yeah.
How did he get it all right?
Yeah.
even the way that he says, when Kang finds out all the others that were killed.
Yeah.
He's like, you killed all these people. How many were Andromedans?
Yeah.
And Lee goes, only 2. And I'm like, well, wait a second. You already found an alien and you're just like, I don't know. It feels like that's the evidence. You had the evidence.
You know what's really interesting about the sequence? Like, now we're on, it's like you've seen Bugonia, hopefully. Or Bugonia is the closest we're going to see a lot of this, essentially the same movie in one regard. The sequence where the CEO is like kind of looking through all of Lee's notes, right? We're getting a combination of not just how far he's done this, how many he's killed, but we're also seeing again like Lee's psychological like trauma. We see that he's been abused, and we've seen that his what happened to his father and what happened to him when he was a teenager, et cetera. But then we also see that like the amount of people he clearly killed, and the CEO Kang at one point like looks like he's overcome with emotion, and he just starts ripping and throwing and destroying the office and the lab, and it works both ways. One before you actually confirm he's an alien, one when you know he's an alien. It works both ways. I think it's kind of why the sequence works, is that him realizing if he's a human, he is so deep in this guy's like insanity that other people, other air quote innocent people have died, or other humans have died, other people have died. And I am so deep. How the hell do I get out of this? But if you see him now as he is, as an alien, he just realized this guy killed 2 of his people in a search for finding him, and he is just as overcome with the emotion. Yeah. It really works both ways. It's actually kind of like a neat, like when you revisit the film, like the scene has a slightly different impact.
I think another thing that is unique to this film is with the detectives investigating, they lay out pretty clearly that some of these people that Lee abducted and killed wronged him in some way. Yeah. It was a childhood bully. It was someone that he was in, what did they call it? Juvenile hall, basically.
It was basically juvenile delinquent.
Yeah. And it was like an old boss, like all these things. And so to the point where we know this guy is the CEO of the company where he used to work.
Right.
And he blames this guy for his mother's coma.
Right.
So it's like, oh, that fits that narrative so well that it's that's where you're saying, oh, this guy's not an alien, but he is fucked. Like,
right. Yeah.
It is like, oh no, like this Lee, even if he does believe this stuff, he also is just grabbing guys he hates and kills them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No. That's something else we haven't established yet. Like he put a pin on it. His mom is in a coma because of some medical thing that happened at the CEO's company, and he had the death of a former girlfriend happen at the same business. So he's putting 2 deaths on the head of the CEO. So is this actually because he thinks the CEO he's doing this because he's saving the world from an alien, or is he finding a justified way to get revenge on this man who took 2 people he loved away from him?
Yeah. That's
the back and forth until you confirm. I mean, it's a little bit of column A, it's a little bit of column B. It's a little bit of both.
But he says the coma, the mom in the coma was an experiment.
Yes.
And they're trying to fix the aggressiveness in humans or something, trying to make them better humans. But I was like, well, he's lying there.
Right.
Because he tells him to go take the, whatever it was, the coolant or something, something in the car and go pour it into the mom's veins or into her mouth, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, go use this and it'll cure her. And she didn't.
Yeah.
She died.
Yeah.
So that was a lie.
Right.
But I think at the same time, I'm thinking, well, why do I think the alien has to tell the truth? But also, what's his goal? Like, as an alien, if you look at it fully from he's an alien, what is his end game here?
Right.
I mean, at a certain point, he's trying to survive.
Right.
But then it's also, why would he screw up so much of his own like existence? But I guess once you get to the end, it's like, well, he's just ready to throw it all in garbage anyway.
Like, I get like when we get to the end and we do get the full reveal along with his like alien look, which has like this like bigger earlobes and like what looks to be like maybe freckles or giant pores on his face. There's a bit of sequence where he's like going through the files, and that includes his mother and it includes Lee as the failed experiments. So how much of the failed experiment truth is there? Who knows? But what we definitely got is like maybe he was that one guy who in the alien race was like, I think we can still make this human thing work.
Well, they were saying the prince believed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of these things where the way this movie plays with its own like logic is a little fast and loose.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess we have to believe everything that Lee has found out is true.
Yeah.
So he's telling things to Kang that are true.
Yeah.
And Kang knows they're true, but Kang is just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, but then when Kang is the lead, like he's the royal being or whatever they call it. Yeah. But then there's also this prince who is the one keeping them from ending the experiments on Earth. But then when Kang gets back up there into the ship, we see him get over to the ship. There is what I believe, I guess that's the prince character who's talking to him, who's like, oh, wow, you made it back. And then Kang's like, yeah, show me the experiments. Yeah, I'm done with that. He's like, I don't care anymore.
It is kind of like a real, like, kind of like frustrating thing in the movie. I think it's intentional where Kang keeps saying, I never lose. And he's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, that's another, like, so bizarre thing is why is he such a cruel person? Like, is it just like like these aliens aren't nice? Like, it seems like Lee knows that the aliens are not good, but then Kang explaining their backstory, it seems like they have good intentions.
But
then Kang's like a very bad person.
Here's kind of maybe my angle now that we're kind of talking about it. Like maybe the deal is that like it's like he claims in his backstory that like they created a species off of them, but they happen to just be very violent. And it's like, what if that was just always in you guys?
Right.
And and the point of this isn't so much like, oh, we have to do a better. It's like, oh no, humanity is so terrible because of whatever influence. It's like, if we came from you, that came from somewhere, right? So maybe that's almost the point. Is like no one's this perfect being. Even these aliens that we are possibly modeled after or got some DNA is like, yes, everyone's kind of fucked up in their own regard. The movie has such a, I would say, bleak-ish, but almost to a point ending. That like, yeah, look, not only does Lee, die, and Sun-Yi die, everyone dies. That's the ending of the movie. The whole planet goes blowy. It blows up.
Like you said, it's done in a cartoon style. Like, we're out on the spaceship watching the Earth blow up. Like the White House at Independence Day. It's like so ridiculous.
And what's fascinating is like the last images we see of the movie is like the TV that was in Lee's home playing home movies of Lee's life as it floats into space and the credits roll. Yeah. Almost kind of like almost of having like Lee having the final say of what happened to Earth by showing what was positive about humanity, but it was, it was blown to fuck up, And
it is also that ending really is, Lee was right. Yeah. Lee should have killed this guy. Yeah. It really is like it is truly the misery turned on its head.
Yeah. No, to quote one of my friends who way back when I watched this movie with a bunch of my buddies, the movie ends and one of my friends went, "God damn it, he was a fucking hero."
And he says that in the movie a couple of times. He's like, they will know I'm a hero.
Yeah. Well, we did watching the movie.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about Detective Chu.
Yeah.
He has the dramatic death by the bees.
Yes.
Which there is like, again, it just leans on comedy in the weirdest ways. So there's like bee food that Lee has. Yeah. And when Detective Chu is figured out because he found a human bone in the dog house.
Yeah. He was really, really close to
he was just about to leave.
Yeah.
He finds a human bone and he does like a thing where he holds it up to his own leg to be like, oh my God, it's the right size. He calls, he's calling down to the precinct or whatever. And then that's where he gets stopped by Lee. Lee's in his bee outfit and he's got the bee food. Yeah. Which is like, it looks like honey, but it's just like sugar. He says, is that sugar water? And he's like, no, I would never give them sugar water.
It's sort of, maybe some sort of like syrupy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he throws that on Detective Chu so that the bees will swarm him.
Yeah.
But it was a very funny thought where I was like, well, I think if he's just very chill, he'll only get stung like once. Like you can be really chill. The bees will just eat their stuff and go. Yeah. They're not going to eat you. Yeah. Like, and it's not like they're stinging you because you have food on you. Mm-hmm. But then he freaks out.
Yeah.
And he starts shooting at the bees. And you see two different gunshots and for each one, a bee falls. Not like the bee has a bullet in it. No. Like the bee just falls. Like he got two bees. I was like, what the hell? This is like funny but stupid. And then he has like, a covered in bees falling and then he falls off the cliff.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that was incredibly silly.
Right.
Like things that in this movie that could be serious and dramatic turn silly.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of view and purpose of this movie is kind of the silliness.
Yeah, I think the silliness sort of maybe helps a lot of the intense stuff that does happen. Mm-hmm. It's like a kind of like I would almost argue like almost like a full meal of like emotions that get served into this movie. So like a full meal of tones. It's like it can be it can be like very silly. It could be kind of like a little bit dramatic when you start learning more about Lee's personal life.
Right.
It has a bit of a social message and an eat the rich vibe, which I got no problem with. And it's genre, it's whether it's a thriller or it's for touches, it's a comedy, it's an action film or a sci-fi movie. It's kind of like doing all these things, and yet it sort of understands what it's trying to do. It understands how it wants to do all these things.
I think I would be very upset if I forgot to mention there is just like a full-on misery moment where Lee, after Kang like escapes, but Lee gets him and puts him back. Yeah. He's like, well, I'm gonna have to make sure you can't escape again, so I gotta chop off your leg.
Yeah.
And it's like it is the full misery moment.
Yeah.
And this is where Kang tells him, oh, I can help you with your mom. and then he does the Misery. He breaks his leg with the back of the axe instead of chopping the leg off.
Right.
So that it makes it harder for him to walk. I'm like, wow, he really was like wearing his influence on his sleeve. But I think he was also like happy to show, like, it's one of these things where I think some people are like, oh, you know, they want to pretend like, oh, I came up with it. Or it's like, he's like, no, I love Misery. He's like, this guy like loves movies and put it all into, like, this is his first full length feature. He's like, I'm putting it all in. Yeah. Everything that I love about movies is going into this thing.
Right. And I think that's something it's hard to like not appreciate that and sort of get caught up in it. Yeah. It is like a full, like, just like you said, like I first time doing it. I may never do it again. I'm just gonna do it all now, and it feels like a weird cocktail of everything that like makes it a very unique and interesting experience. You know, one that I was always fascinated by the idea of them talking about redoing it and trying to find a new angle for it. But like in this case, it's like as a first film, it's a hell of a calling card. You know, I don't even recall if I ever saw it. I haven't even seen anything he's done since this, but. This movie has stayed in my head clearly for 22 years. So, like, obviously, he accomplished quite a bit in this first film.
Yeah, I think that about wraps up our. Do you have more?
I think we're.
Yeah, I think we hit all the big beats. Yeah. It's I say it's a solid film.
I would say
I don't know if I can recommend it to everyone, but
no.
No. I think you the way that you met this film in your time of like wanting to appreciate South Korean cinema and knowing about, you know, Old Boy, Park Chan-wook, all these things and going, well, who else is out there? Yeah. This is definitely in that zone of like, if you like, you know, those kinds of movies, you'll like this. Yeah. That's totally in that vibe. Yeah.
If I can stress anything, if you're a young and film fan and you're starting to develop your taste, like really just, that's why I want people to branch out from like whatever has been given to you that's available easy in Hollywood, or just what's like, just simply anything American. It's like, oh, like see what other countries are offering, because you'd be surprised that you might be exposed to like really unique storytelling that comes from these other countries. So yeah, like you said, like as I pointed out my origin, I got really into South Korean films, and I really was enamored to see, well, what other kind of unique things are out there, and like got, you know, this got on my radar, and like, yeah, you're totally right. I would not recommend this to everybody, but I would definitely suggest see the trailer. It's pretty close to the tone of the movie. And then if you vibe with that, hunt this guy down. It's actually the sad truth is it actually is kind of hard to find the movie nowadays. So you have to kind of hunt for the DVD. Maybe someone's selling it on eBay. There has not been a new HD release of this over here. No new Blu-ray, no 4K. No one's streaming it officially, so I'm sure you could find your ways. But if this at all fascinates you, and heck, even if you saw Bugonia and you liked it or didn't like Bugonia, I would still recommend watching this, because as you're going to find out, whatever we say next about Bugonia, it's a very interesting movie to compare it to the what ended up becoming the new film.
Yep. I guess we'll go up into the mothership real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Come back, and hopefully everything will be okay on Earth, and we'll continue. We'll continue this conversation with Bugonia.
To all who come to this happy podcast, welcome.
Anime musings are your musings.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Kayla.
And if it wasn't readily apparent from that, we're huge nerds about Disney. That's why we're doing the Anime Musings podcast.
Once a month, we'll sit down and talk about a film in detail from the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography, covering them in chronological order, from Snow White to Moana and beyond.
To Moana and beyond!
Sweetie, we're not doing Pixar yet. We'll do that after.
And that's gonna be a long time coming. Anyway, if that sounds up your alley, come join Kayla and I, and maybe a guest or two, as we explore the Disney animated canon, film by film.
With the hope that it'll be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Ooh, nicely said.
Don't thank me, thank Walt.
All right. Everyone is talking to each other with their hair right now.
Yes.
So we have a moment to share our Patreon. Patreon.com/nothingnew. Check it out, and let's give everyone a treat. We'll telepathically beam this into their brains, a little snippet of our new episode right now. The actual schedule.
Oh, fascinating.
But it was on my radar.
Okay.
So I'm keeping it in mind.
Sure.
Which is that we're getting a new Supergirl.
Yes.
And
it's very
Supergirl
true.
was a movie before.
Yes.
So in my mind, it was on the table.
Now,
It's very unlikely, though.
well, because here's the thing, right? If we didn't cover Superman,
Well, yes.
but I will say this,
Yeah.
and I can see where you're going with this.
Yes.
See, whereas with Superman, there have been many Superman movies.
Uh-huh.
This is literally the second Supergirl movie.
And it's very specifically a spin-off of the Superman movie. It is not... Yes, she's having her own story, but it's very much like, let's introduce this character through her more famous character cousin. I
with
think
characters that might cross over.
with crossover characters.
I mean...
I just like it in concept. I don't think we will actually do it, but
But who knows? We
Yeah.
do have an empty slot where it could fit in for that month.
Sure.
Woo! All right. You can find that episode along with the many other episodes we have exclusive to Patreon for only $1 a month. You can join the rest of our lovely patrons who have contributed to our Patreon and get a whole mess of episodes specifically only available on Patreon. We've there's a whole library that we have never released on the mainstream. And again, just whether we pitch our own remakes or there are a bunch of other reviews exclusively just to the Patreon. Also, if you would like to take over our show in the manner of speaking for $25 for 1 month, we'll be telling you are our leader and cover 2 movies you choose. So again, we have gotten a lot of great episodes out of this. I've always said our King Kong episode's great. We did Power Rangers, Christmas Carol with the Muppets and Mickey Mouse.
Recently, the Phantom of the Opera.
Recently, the Phantom of the Opera. And there, again, I've always stressed, there are so many we haven't covered yet that are considered to be classic remakes that we haven't got to yet. And if you're just like, where's that episode about blank? If you want us to do it.
I think you've previously called out Scarface as the one we will now not do until someone pays for it.
I almost feel like that's the case, yeah. Unless
Yeah.
for some reason there's like a newer Scarface that comes out. We have not covered
That would
Scarface.
be insane if
know.
another Scarface came out.
But who knows?
What would that...
Who knows? In this day and age,
We're still waiting on the Thomas Crown Affair with Michael B. Jordan.
that's true. That's going to be the third.
We've been talking about that since we did our episode on the
But,
Thomas
yeah,
Crown Affair.
The fact we're going to get another one is wild to me. I don't even know what will happen when that comes out. Anyway. Anyway, that's the Patreon. If you want to join us there, we would love to see you there. Now, back to the mothership. And we're landing back on Earth. Okay. So.
Bugonia.
This
Why is it called that, Justin?
I don't know.
Yeah, right? I was really thinking about it, and I was like, did I miss something in the dialogue where they talked about? Obviously, it's a misspelling of the flower, Bugonia,
Yeah.
with a U, so it makes bug, like a buzz, buzz, bug.
Right.
And bees are a big part of both films.
Yes.
I almost want to say bigger in this one because they kind of focus on the colony collapse disorder
Mm-hmm.
as an excuse of something. But it's truly I think they just like that name. I think they thought it was a fun term.
So I want to bring up some interesting things about the making of this movie.
Yes.
So number one, the screenplay was written by Will Tracy, and it was originally planned that Jang Joon-han was going to direct it.
Yes, the director was going to come back.
It's going to be one of those moves.
Rare but interesting.
Rare but interesting.
Yeah.
And sadly, Jang's health couldn't wouldn't allow him to do the film, so he had to go into just becoming an executive producer. What's interesting about what I found out that Will Tracy did for the writing of the script is that he basically said, I went and watched the movie once, and then I just wrote from memory. So instead of like kind of going back and forth, he just decided, well, I mean, let's just create a real separation. So the movie is essentially a remake in memory of what he remembered from the one time he watched Save the Green Planet. And when you watch it knowing that, especially if you saw Save the Green Planet relatively recently or right before like I did, it is a fascinating watch in that regard because it does feel like someone remembering, and this is not a negative, someone remembering, oh, right, and then this happened. And it works in that regard because it does. I'm going to make a bold claim here. I haven't seen us cover a movie with this big of a shift in tone and style of a remake since Suspiria.
Interesting.
Because these movies could not be far from different tonally than each other. Like,
I think, and what you're also saying is so far in tone, but so close in script.
Yes.
Yes. It's not like they deviated in the plot.
No.
They didn't say, oh, we're just going to do our own thing. It was too, the tone is so different. Yeah.
But it is bullet point wise. If I just told you what happened between both movies, they are pretty much aligned. There are changes in characters and what happens, and we have new characters that didn't exist in the other movie. But overall, beat by beat, more or less, they all kind of match. The biggest change is that there is no Sun-Yi. There is a cousin character in replacement of her. And this cousin character is played by Adrian Delbus. Plays Donnie, I think.
Yeah, Don.
I
believe this is his first film.
Yes.
Which is I think Yorgos likes to do that in casting a lot. I remember that especially in Kinds of Kindness, where a lot of the side characters were people that either had never acted before or they had some other profession and he just brought them in. And I think that can give some people, I think some directors or some casting directors do that so that they're more... like whatever their real, passion or job is comes into that role.
Yeah.
But this, I'm like, I really, they must have just they wanted this guy. Guy, they're just like, we just want this guy.
Well, and he brings such a very unique and different character and energy. But obviously fills the same function as Sun-Yi, as an innocent, someone who truly loves, and it's also kind of the same feel, like truly loves the person who is the kidnapper. It's actually kind of funny. It reminds me, if you listen to our Running Man episode with BC Johnson, aka Bobby, Bobby brought up that point about like you give 7 different writers the same premise, you'll get 7 different books. And immediately I thought of that by the time I finished Bugonia. Because Yorgos and Zhang are so different filmmakers, especially if we keep pointing to the fact that Save the Green Planet is his first movie.
Yeah,
Yorgos is now pretty experienced at this point. So this is a movie directed by a guy who definitely has a controlled idea of what his style and his tone is. And again, it brings a very different vibe and a very different feel. But the structure and the plot points are so much aligned. It's hard to not see it.
So speaking of those plot points, there is a very strange thing that I remember hearing. So Bugonia did not just come out. It came out August, October. It came out a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But I remember when it came out, I did not see it in theaters. I totally missed it.
Yeah, me too.
But a thing that people that I talked to or people that I saw online or talked to online, they were saying with that trailer for Bugonia, everyone was like, oh, well, she's an alien, obviously. That's the twist. Where there's something about I don't want to blame M. Night Shyamalan because it's not just him.
Yeah.
People say he's the king of the twists. You know what? We had other ones before. Okay, we've had other directors who are obsessed with twists.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but the idea of the twist, you know, it's like, okay, this guy is a conspiracy theorist. He kidnapped a person, and she says she's not an alien. Why is it that we immediately go, well, obviously she is.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
That's just like we are assuming a twist. Regardless of if this movie, they could have played this. I mean, I remember the Bugonia trailers feeling very like real, where it's like, oh, she is in danger.
Yeah.
And yet multiple people I know were like, well, obviously she's an alien. They had not seen Save the Green Planet. They were not aware that this was a remake.
Right.
They just saw that and there's something about like the way that mainstream, like I guess American films are now. It's like they always have to have a twist. It almost, I don't want to say it ruined the movie, but it like pre-ruined people's perception of what the movie could be.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think we are living in an era of sadly maybe trained audiences.
Yeah.
Who, there's also, I won't go too far in this. I have this, one of my frustrations with some movie discussions nowadays is audiences coming into a movie wanting to fight it, wanting to outsmart the movie, to which I go, you know, movie is made to entertain you. Why are you picking a fight with that? If it doesn't entertain you, it's bad. Fair enough. But if you're coming in and going, all right, let me see how smart you are. Why is that the vibe you're walking into?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everybody went into Bugonia with that thought, but I think everyone's sort of like, I think a lot of people have sadly trained their brains into trying to outsmart the movie. And it's fascinating that you say this, because I do feel like that sadly does take the sale away, takes the win out of the sales of what made the Save the Green Planet such a unique viewing experience for me the first time I saw it. Is he right? Or is he just crazy? And if that's the feeling people are coming in and going, oh, she's an alien, I went, well, I kind of lost half the tension.
Yeah.
If not almost all the tension, if people were walking in on that. What do you think of the switch up of making the CEO now a woman?
I think all the changes that were made were perfect.
Okay.
I think a lot of times we talk about remakes, we ask why. Why remake it now? Why remake it here? Why even take it from a South Korean film into an American film?
Yeah.
Why do all of these things? Because it resonates.
Yeah.
I think the idea of a conspiracy theorist kidnapping someone, doing something dangerous and deranged to a person, very relevant to today, America today.
Right.
The idea of the CEO is a woman, a high-powered, the girl boss mentality. The idea of that it's not just, 20, 50 years ago, it would only be men in suits.
Yeah.
Now there are women in the boardroom too. And guess what? They can be just as evil and cold-hearted and shitty as the men were.
Yeah.
In different ways, perhaps, but they're right there with them. So having all of these little tweaks, I'm like, he put it right in America and made it relevant instantly. Like everything just clicked.
Yeah.
So I think that was what intrigued me with right from the trailer. Whether or not, I didn't care if she was an alien. I honestly, when I was watching Bugonia, I was hoping she wasn't. To my mind, that made a more interesting and compelling story. But I see what they were doing. I see where it was going. But the idea of having the misery angle, I'm like, we're in the point of view of the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
How and we also, it allows us to be like, well, he's a bad person, but also what? Tell me more. That was also interesting to me with Bugonia, where I was like, okay, I'm like, I know Yorgos Lanthimos also gets a little gross and weird, so I'm like, I don't want to see Emma Stone get tortured for 2 hours. Right. But let's see what happens. Like, let's go in with an open mind.
This is the thing that I find very fascinating about the switch and the change, right? So, when you see the CEO in Save the Green Planet wake up, he is freaking out.
Yeah.
He is immediately shown to be horrified, immediately shown to be scared, and showing that he's a weak, innocent human, right? Here, almost because I feel like they kind of know, like, well, there's a power play between a man and a woman, especially if the man is the aggressor. But here, Emma Stone's character is shown to try her best to be calm and go with whatever the guy wants. Right? It's a very different tone. She's not showing a ton of fear, but she is showing, I am being compliant to what you want to hear.
She's like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Like, she just wants to, she's like, we just need to talk. She's like, we need to understand each other.
Yeah.
Whereas, the male CEO is more, let me show how loud and aggressive I can be. Let me show that I'm not a good person to have kidnapped.
Yeah.
I will fight you.
Yeah. But even before the fight, he's shown that, like, I'm a human. I'm just like sad.
Yeah.
I have a kid.
Right.
Like, he is trying to show, why did you kidnap an innocent man? She is trying to show, I am willing to see what you want so that we all get what we want and no one gets anything bad, right? That's a very calculated rewrite and an angle change on since you've changed the character to a woman. Jesse's Teddy, who's the lead in this film. Jesse Plemons, great choice.
Yeah.
Perfect choice. Love me some Jesse Plemons. You know, I think there's an element I think he's doing that's very interesting, that he's sort of almost doing like QAnon, the conspiracy guy.
Oh, yeah.
To a big degree. And yes, we have, that is the 2025 update. Is conspiracy theories are now at that point of just those people who exist online and they're loud, and he kind of represents that. It's a very different, the thing with Lee is that he sort of echoes popular media conspiracy theorists, right? In a world post Independence Day, Men in Black, X-Files, that's what he does. And since the movie came out in 2003, it's kind of like the leftovers of 90s UFO conspiracy theory stuff. Here, it's 22 years later, and it's now more along the lines of like someone who does believe in the QAnon stuff. And that is a very, very, very different outlook on conspiracy theories, and the tone and his intensity is very different from Lee.
He has that line in the movie where he's like I've gone through all the spaces, right wing, left wing, Marxist, whatever, QAnon. He's like, I've been through it all. This is different, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so like, that sums up like the whole idea of a conspiracy theorist is like, well, they're all wrong. Yeah. But it's by him calling that out, that he's gone through all of it. It is like showing it. Like, that's where I think as an audience, we then go, oh, there are no aliens. Because this guy is just, he believes in the strong, like the biggest thing online just swoops him right up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's like part of any movement that comes by. And that makes it even more dangerous that he is like pliable and susceptible. He's talking about like the aliens can control your mind. And it's like he's having his mind controlled by going online and believing everything he reads.
This is the thing about getting Yorgos, because I know he's very famous for having a very unique outlook, and unique sense of humor. And so while Save the Green Planet is a lot funnier intentionally, that sort of offbeat humor is still integral to this movie. It's still there. But it's done in such a very different manner from Save the Green Planet that it does feel like I'm seeing the other movie in a completely different new lens, which I literally am. But it's interesting to see when I do recognize beats from the other movie. It's like, oh, hey, there you are. But the context is done so differently that I'm fascinated to see how it plays out in a completely different manner.
A lot of the comedy in this one comes from like awkwardness or awkward phrasing or pauses.
Yeah.
Like characters that don't know how to interact with each other.
Yeah.
And that, I think that is like very central to the Teddy character.
Yeah.
Where he's either so blank with people or too intense. Like it has like these two kind of vibes to him.
Yeah.
But then you see him with his cousin. I think he genuinely cares about his cousin.
Yeah.
And so to see that kind of human nature come out, where he must recognize, like the if you read according to Wikipedia, just very plainly says that the cousin is autistic.
Yeah.
But there is, there is a specificity in the kind of autism or the kind of, the way he's playing that character, where it's like this is a character, and they say it in dialogue where he's like, well, don't you want to be like independent? Don't you want to go live on your own? And Teddy's thinking that the aliens can help.
Yeah.
He's thinking that, this is like he's learned the secrets that will help his cousin.
Yeah.
And himself and the world.
Yeah.
Like every step of the way, he's like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm helping not just people that I care about, but the whole world and everything. And that kind of character is so, you don't see it. Like this movie felt like, oh, it was like full of characters that I don't see in other movies just because they're so weird.
Yeah.
They're little, and that's Yorgos.
Yeah.
Yorgos makes little weirdos. But I think in other Yorgos films, like Poor Things is so stylized that none of those characters like truly read as human. We're just seeing like the themes of humanity through them. And I'm trying to think of the other Yorgos Lanthimos movies I've seen. Like the favorite, I probably, if I watched it now, I would see a lot more. But I think that was the first Yorgos Lanthimos film I'd seen, where it just played as, a period piece with a weird sensibility to it.
Yeah.
But then even I would never recommend anyone watch Dogtooth. I think Dogtooth is just too like disgusting. But it is full of like, this is his style of character where it's like, oh my God, but also tell me more. Like, what's your deal?
One thing I want to point, I don't know how much influence he had on this.
Right? Yeah.
But producer, one of the producers is Ari Aster.
Yes.
Which I can't help but feel that Ari Aster shine on this somehow. Even a little bit. It's weird. I don't think he told you clearly. I think they clearly would respect each other and leave each other alone. But there's something about having, like, when I see Ari's name on there, I went, like, there is something very vaguely you, even in this movie. And maybe it's because it's material that makes sense that you would be like, oh yeah, I will help that movie get made. Emma's great in this. I think she's great in this, and I think it's interesting that, like, her and Yorgos are kind of like they're like the close filmmaker to actor muse thing. Yeah, that's why Yorgos has put her in everything since The Favorite, and like here I think it's a smart move to use her because, again, it's one of those cases where it's like she can play someone that you believe is strong enough to stand up against a guy, but also does show enough vulnerability that make you kind of go like, oh my God, this woman is unrightfully maybe probably kidnapped for some reason. Going into the tone thing, right? The kidnapping sequence in Save the Green Planet versus the kidnapping sequence in Bugonia. There is, in the sequence in Save the Green Planet, it's almost it's all comedy, right? Like a guy is getting like eyes sprayed and everything. But it's done in such a comedic manner, and it ends on almost a comedy beat, a comedy element with Sun Yi coming in and chloroforming him. Yeah, we all got chloroformed. Here, a little too real.
Yes, but then the humor comes through with like the Halloween mask that they're wearing. Yes, is that like Jennifer Aniston?
It's like a Jennifer Aniston face mask.
Yeah, and it's like a paper mask. Yeah. Like it's not meant to look realistic. It's just a piece of paper with a cardboard cutout with eyes. Yeah. Which is like, that's a little funny. But then they still do the kind of like jump and grab maneuver. Yeah. That's in Save the Green Planet, but now it's in like her opulent backyard. Yeah. And then even once they get her with the dart or whatever, the syringe that's going to knock her out, the way she falls is a little cartoony.
Yeah, like kind of a door to the fall. Yeah, like kind of slamming feeling. Yeah.
And then even as they take her away, the shaving of her head is done by the cousin, and he's like he's like, oh, what if the razor hurts her? Like they kind of play into this like. He's like, oh, I'm scared to shave her head. But it's like a tender moment, but it's funny because it's like, oh my, like the kidnapper cares. Like, and he's like not understanding why it's important because Teddy's the one who has all the information where he's like, no, you don't understand. The hair is how they communicate.
So here's again, going a real change in sort of how much is more subtle in this movie. Okay, Save the Great Planet is not subtle.
No.
This movie, fairly more subtle. And I totally get that. Which leads into kind of like how Teddy's backstory is revealed is very, very different. There's a lot of like very like clear things that happened to Lee that led to his choices. Here, you and I'm not even sure if it's a negative, but it's just an observation. There isn't a ton of how Teddy got to those thoughts, how Teddy got to where he is psychologically. The mom is still a big part of his journey of what he's motivated to do, and this time the mom is played by Alicia Silverstone.
So bizarre.
I know, but it's
a role essentially with no lines, one line, like very, very little.
But also like me re-acknowledging like one, like, oh, I guess she is that age.
Yeah, she had a similar role in this horror movie called The Lodge.
Yeah.
I think it was called The Lodge. Did you see that?
I heard about it. I didn't see it, though.
Yeah, very similar role where she is like a mother character that is only in like one scene in a backstory.
Yeah.
But affects the whole movie, essentially. I'm like, she's really finding a new path.
Yeah.
What was it? Was she in Valley Girl, the remake? Okay.
She was in the Valley Girl remake.
Call out?
That's right.
Thanks for coming back, Alicia Silverstone, in a role we didn't expect.
She played Did she play? I think
she played the mom, who was supposed to be like the original Valley. Like it was the time shifted.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember now. She's settled into being someone's mom nowadays. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
She was a mom in Y2K.
Okay.
She was a mom and she did a movie with Nick Frost. Oh, Crazy House. Have you heard of that one?
That's not the one where he goes on vacation with his family. No, that's called something else.
That's something else. This is it was a whole other movie. But she played Nick Frost's wife in a movie called Crazy House. So yeah, no, Silverstone's kind of like, yep, I'm a mom. I'm a mom. I'm in my mom period. But yeah, like those sequences are very interesting to me because they're almost like dreamlike. And
they're very much meant to be his dream memories.
Yeah,
they're in black and white. They have dream logic to them.
Yeah,
like at one point, he's holding on to like a balloon, but the balloon is the mother.
Right.
It's like the mom in a bed floating away while we're getting some more backstory.
Yeah,
it's like okay, it's using weird imagery while giving us kind of important information.
Yeah, exactly. There is another character here, played by an actor named Stavros Halkas, who plays this cop.
He's kind of the Detective Chew, but not really.
Yeah.
Again, updating it for America, making the cop completely ineffectual and as he reveals, was a former babysitter / bully / assaulter of Teddy. Very much oof.
I am still processing if I kind of liked the additional like history of between him and Teddy, and it does sort of shifts what happened to the character who gets murdered in essentially the other movie, right?
Yeah.
Because Detective Chew, when he finds out, it's more along the lines of like Lee going, well, I can't let you out now. So it's like I gotta commit. Circumstance situation. Here, while not played like that, it does come off as like a mild justification that it's okay that he kind of killed him because apparently he assaulted him when he was a kid. Don't know if that really works for me.
I think it plays into what's in the original film with he's going after people who had wronged him.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like they wanted to keep that element, but they didn't really want to, so they just put it on a different character.
Yeah, unlike the Save the Green Planet, there's a history. And this is probably one thing I will say. They did keep the idea that there's a history of a lot of people that Teddy probably killed. Just not the clarification like the Save the Green Planet
that he knew them or that they
don't know. Again, that's sort of this is the thing why I kept bringing up like the Travis Bickle comparison to Save the Green Planet is that like I understand that at the end of the day, Travis Bickle is not really the hero of the story. He is his own kind of problematic person, but he's so compelling that I can't help but watch him.
I mean, it's another De Niro, the Rupert Pupkin idea,
yeah,
where it's like,
yeah.
oh my God, he kidnaps, he does this,
Yeah.
and in his mind, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And as we follow it, we want to see more. Like, it does. This does kind of evoke like that era of Scorsese. I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And
and not even so much an anti-hero, just someone who's like a real scummy guy.
yeah. And Jesse's very good at that.
Incredible
At that. One other sequence I want to share is like, they don't really do a ton of the torture stuff to Emma in this film.
The electric.
I was going to bring that up.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one they sort of retained.
Mm-hmm.
And if we didn't mention this in the previous discussion of the movie, but yes, there was this one voltage test that they did to the CEO, which they repeated here, and which they put up to 200, 400 volts,
like an insane amount.
Yeah, and she does survive it.
That is perhaps where we're supposed to first say, oh, maybe she's not human. But in Save the Green Planet, they knew that the CEO was the Emperor.
Yeah.
This is again, I like all the changes they made because in Bugonia, this torture reveals that to Teddy. Teddy was like, I think you're high ranking. I don't know. We're just gonna grab you and see.
Yeah.
And then he does this electric shock thing, and she is yelling and screaming. It is not it isn't affecting her. But she survives up to the highest level where the power goes out in the house for a second. And, Dawn's freaking out. But Teddy is just like, oh my God. He's like, untie her now. I didn't realize this is the queen. Yeah. And it's that moment of oh my God, this guy's so crazy that when you reach a certain level, he comes back around to nice again. It's it was you're torturing until it's oh wait, I'm nice to you because of a thing that I made up. It feels it feels scary. But then it also, I think that is supposed to be the first inkling. Yeah. Real inkling where it's well, how did you survive that? Yeah. I know that she trains and does her weird face,
but it's
electrolysis. But yeah, this is totally different.
Yeah. It's and I actually love Jesse's switch. Into that. It's so good. That kind of leads into the dinner scene. Yes. Which I really liked. And it's very much a scene that only is in this movie. It's not really one in the other one. It's the scene of dumb. Yeah. There's no version of that in the other film. If anything, this is the scene that's supposed to show a sign of peace between them. Because he's letting her out. She's still tied up, but she's not. She's in a place where she's in a situation where he's like, I'm trying to give you respect because I'm so sorry. You're the queen.
Another funny thing that neither of us have mentioned. Once they kidnap her, both guys the whole rest of the time wear suits. Yeah. Which is so funny and specific where they well, we have to dress nice for the alien. Yeah. It's such a weird thought where I'm yeah, I guess that's the way these guys would think. It's so funny. It doesn't. This is where the movie's funny, where it's what? Why would you think? Well, all right. Even when they're getting in the suits, Don's my suit doesn't fit, and he's oh, you look great. Yeah. It's just what?
No, it's no, because a part of the deal is they want to be taken.
Yes, they want the way onto the mothership.
Yeah. So they have to, in their eyes, specifically Teddy, we have to look good. What's fascinating though is the idea that Teddy thinks, I just want to know that we just need a quick trip and then we're done. Or Don wants to stay. Yeah. And that kind of shows the sign of a character who feels I'm not meant for whatever this place is. So if you can get me to where you guys are, I want to stay with you guys. And that's sort of sad and tragic in its own way.
We have been circling around the event with Dawn.
It's very different
and so tragic. I was so shocked by it. Yeah. But also it's oh my God, and every character's reaction to it is they're changed by it. Yeah. Even Emma Stone is just oh my God, no. Don does shoot himself. Yeah. And it's after she kind of agrees, I'll take you on the ship. Right. Which I it's not that you could fully understand his logic in that moment. Does he think, you know, he has to die to get on the ship? Is he just so happy that she agreed that he's like, I don't want to continue with this? Because he seems to be more sympathetic to her pain.
Right.
You know, than Teddy. Teddy is very, you know, cold about it, where he's like, I need to torture the aliens.
Yeah.
Don doesn't, like, he wants to give in. And Teddy tells Don not to say anything for most of the movie. He's like, don't talk to her, don't say anything. I'll handle all that.
Yeah.
And so the death of Don really like changes the course of the movie. But then it picks up. It's so interesting to see how it picks up with Save the Green Planet.
Yeah.
Where there's the same beat too, where the cop has been killed. And then that's where she reveals the whole backstory, very similar to Save the Green Planet.
Yeah.
And says, yeah, there's something in my car that will go help your mom.
This is one of those cases where, again, I loved learning that the writer basically tried to rewrite the movie in memory. Because what I love about all this stuff, in the way it was done and condensed and changed and rearranged a little bit, is that it doesn't come off as... For funsies, I was just re-listening to our Karate Kid episode, right? And part of the knock we did on the 2010 film is like them going, well, here's the stuff we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to do these things. We have to do the training. We have to do this, that, and the Miyagi scene. We have to do the tournament, yada, yada, yada. It's obligation to do those remake bits. Here, because it's a memory of what happened, it doesn't come off like that. It comes off as part of the narrative that this version of the story is doing. And it kind of flows in a very different way, but it still makes sense. And it doesn't feel like a checklist unless you saw the other movie, you know? So it's like, if you've never seen the other movie, it really works. But even if you have, like I saw that and it just went, oh, that's interesting. Like the TV sequence still kind of exists. It's just not as comedic, and he doesn't turn it off with his foot. But we still get the death of the cop with the bees, but not the bullet killing of the bees or the special honey food thing. But we still get it. But that was triggered because of Don's death.
Yes. And
I thought, oh, that's a really smart rewrite of the events.
Yeah, Don never leaves like Suni does.
No. He's sort of, but you can tell Don's slowly been doubting Teddy throughout the movie. It's like, is this right? Are we doing the right thing? We shouldn't be doing this. And then again, to really, much like Suni, he loves him. Truly loves him, and I thought that was the saddest thing before he kills himself, is that he told like Emma, like, just please tell Teddy how much I love him, and then he fucking does it. Like I literally was not prepared for that moment. I did not know he was gonna do that. One of the things I also really love about Emma's performance is when they do their version of her kind of discovering the other dead body.
Right. She makes it's a secret room even.
Yeah.
Which I think that was a very interesting, you know, choice.
Yeah.
Like she's trying to find a way out of the basement while he's distracted, and she finds a secret door.
Whereas like it's very clear in Save the Green Planet, it's pretty bare. All those tubes and we see everything.
Yeah.
You know? It's always secret. Here though, it's a big reveal. But this is where you, again, if you're still not sure, her performance, and I love the framing of her just looking up, but this is the most alien she looks and acted, is him going, how many of them were Andromedons? Just point blank, stare, mad, how many were there? How many were there? And she's like, 2. Okay. It's like, you can see her being like, all right, I've taken this as far as I can.
They also do. Oh, I forgot about this visual thing that they do, counting down to the the lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Earth is like turning and it's a flat Earth.
Yeah, it's a flat Earth.
Which is, I'm like, God, it plays into the whole conspiracy thing.
I thought that was really smart.
And it's funny because in Save the Green Planet, they only do that once, and they don't. It's not like it's not turning into a flat Earth. It's just like, the countdown isn't as important.
Yeah, we have like one title card.
Yeah.
And visuals of like 3 days till the lunar thumb.
Yeah.
But you're right. This is a true countdown. It's almost like basically each time we get back to the countdown, it is revealing acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
Going to The Office, I was like, oh my God, where's this going to go?
Right.
Like, it was truly like, because I hadn't seen Save the Green, so Bugonia was my only reference point. So I'm like, oh my God, they're back at the office, and she's like limping. The earlier scene where she's like in the office and in charge, it's like I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, the way it's a great comparison.
Yeah,
and you can see her doing her best to still maintain.
Yes,
but also everyone knows like this is wrong.
She's like, I'm back. Guy? Everything's fine.
And then it's like,
and you see the background, everyone converging and talking to each other and chasing after
something's
her.
wrong. Something's wrong.
Oh my God.
Who's
I
that
love
guy?
that.
Okay, so I will say, you're telling me it's going back to what you said earlier. I'm fascinated by the fact that some people thought they pegged it early on.
Yeah.
And whereas for me, to be fair, I actually didn't hear a lot of that. So to be fair, as I'm watching it, I was wondering when we got to the office, I went, so are we committing?
Yeah.
I was really going, I know how the other movie ended. Are we committing? Are we doing this?
I will say, I mean, through most of this movie, I thought she was human. I really, and I think part of that is almost in a backlash to this, people thinking obviously she's an alien, but also to my mind, her being human makes the story a little more interesting. Just a little, a tiny, teensy bit more interesting. I'm not going to say, it ruined the whole thing.
Sure.
But I do, I'm like, if she was human and had to survive all this, and it's just like, oh my God, like that is like a real crazy story. And even once they get to the office, that's where he reveals he's got a bomb strapped to him.
Yeah.
And again, in Save the Green Planet, that was revealed much earlier.
Again, it's
like the having the reveals, the tension, the payoffs.
I was kind of relieved because this is the new stuff, right? The rest of the movie was sort of fall in place of the other one.
Yeah, this is similar to the ending, but not quite.
Yeah, the other film ended on, to be honest, like a real like set piece. Like a real like explosions and like, but like more, what does that explosion do? But more like an action beat with like a robot arm and a fist fight between Kang and Lee. Here, it's still like, you don't know.
Yeah.
When she busts out the calculator, I'm sitting there going like, I still don't know. Because she's like, I'm sorry, looks stupid and it's old, but it's like, is she fucking with him? I was kind of excited because this is the chunk that I'm like is new to me. So now I'm like, okay, now I don't know anymore. What are we? I'm back to it. Yeah. I'm back again at not being sure if she's an alien or not. So I was like, what's happening?
When she says get in the closet, I was like, oh, she's bullshitting so hard. At him. She's so hard.
And then Teddy blows up in the closet.
Which the only another character, like a cop or someone, says like, oh, well, homemade bombs, they just kind of go off if you get too hot or something.
But here's the great thing about that sequence, right? Because this is in the ambulance. She's explaining the last bit of logic. But already, Emma's character's like, yeah. Let me get out. Get me out of here. Her sign of her going, sure. Okay, whatever. I just got to go. I'm like,
she's like, he's dead, right, though? He's dead.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then
that's why I have to think, so she was saying the closet was how they teleport into the mothership.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine she did something.
She detonated it somehow.
That she made it go off. Like, she did it, which I'm like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And because she's preparing, like she's getting behind like a part of the office.
She knows.
She knew he was about to blow up.
Yeah.
Which when I saw that, I'm like, I think she thinks he's about to blow up, and then he did, and I was like, oh, she knew, she did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And her running out of the ambulance, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, what? I'm like, where are we going now?
When she ran out of the ambulance, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Are we are we committing? And then to see her run back to the office. And I'm like, oh, we're doing it? Are we doing it? Are we doing it? How are we doing it? This is so different from the other one. How are we doing it this time? And like, because in the other film, he beams up. Classic UFO. I get beamed into the spaceship.
Yeah.
So she's running back to the office going, what are you doing? What's going on? What's happening right now? I love that she had to still pick up the calculator. And everyone's like, what do you? And she's, oh no, I left the thing. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, the calculator really was.
Yeah.
And she gets back in the closet, like walking over Teddy's exploded body. And then boom, she's
on the
trapped.
ship.
She's on the freaking mothership. And this is where I'm like, not only was I relieved, going, oh, thank God, but also kind of like going, oh, this is the poor things Yorgos.
Yeah.
The way the costumes are designed. I love that all the aliens have really long hair.
Yeah. You gotta have the hair to communicate.
Yeah. There's two different like I kind of wish they kept the same beat, I will admit, of like when in the other film when like they were talking to Kang and he's like, they're like, I'm sorry, but we couldn't communicate you. He's like, how can you communicate me when I don't have my hair? He's pointing to his head.
Yeah.
They kind of do a version of that, but not 100% the same way. It was like, oh, I really like the anger he had pointing. I think to really emphasize the hair is gone. How the fuck, dumbass, I was supposed to do this. But we do this whole thing where she's wearing this like wild outfit. Everyone's wearing these like knitted looking things.
Yeah.
It's like a plasma organic spaceship.
When she teleports, she comes out of like a pool of goo.
Yeah. And also, again, to go back to, Teddy was right. Like the spaceship she's flying, Teddy nailed what the design was.
This is where I'm like, where did he get how did he do this?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I kind of love, again, about the ending and it, how knowing that what it is like, is when she's looking around and she sees the ship. Again, if you don't know and you're not sure, she's like, oh, dag, that's, well, okay, there's the model of the ship. And she saw like a video version of her, right? Here but now knowing at the end, she goes, I'm assuming her reaction is like, fuck. Son of a bitch got it. Son of a bitch nailed it. So there is a big difference on how she pulls the trigger of destroying the planet.
Yeah. And I think it's more, this movie has a sensibility of, humans are the detriment of the earth.
Yeah.
It's not just Earth as an experiment or humans as an experiment. It is the idea of like this movie starts with Jesse Plemons talking about the bees. He's talking about all of that, where it's like he's recognizing like nature is beautiful and humanity is destroying it.
Yeah. But
then he's also seeing this other unhumanity destroying humanity, destroying nature. Comes down the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to it, the last images in this movie are so memorable.
Yeah.
Because it's just they say, okay, we're done with Earth. We're done with humans on Earth. They press a button and then we see on Earth, everyone has just dropped.
Yeah. It's not a Independence Day style explosion. It is a series of shots of just the population dead.
Yeah.
Animals
are fine.
Yeah, animals are fine. But I even had to admit, like, there's I wouldn't say it's a moment of hesitancy, but sadness when Emma decides to go ahead and pull the trigger or press the button or pop the air bubble, whatever.
Oh, yeah, she pops a bubble. That's right.
Yeah. And on a Earth, FYI, that's flat.
That's flat.
Yeah, no. So, but I think there's like the sadness from her because it's establishing the idea that like she was like, I was really pulling for this to work. That's the kind of vibe I got from that. But it didn't. So, and yeah, it is haunting. The shots over and over again of people throughout various points in life, whether they're getting married or just having a vacation or struggling in a real poverty situation, or
there's like factories and everything.
Like everything, just seeing just dead body after dead body after dead body. Something that Jung just couldn't do if he had this thought. Like he couldn't do if he wanted to blow up the earth. The only thing people he can show are just other Koreans, right? Here it's such a global showing of like the whole planet dead, and it's haunting. Like there is I don't know, personally, I don't know, maybe you can disagree with me on this. Like I don't think there's as much of a Eat the Rich vibe on this one as there was in the other film.
Yeah, I think that's maybe to its credit that it's more focused on the conspiracy aspect. And I do still think the alien reveal muddles some of what the movie is about.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like, again, if we're to believe these are like beneficial alien overlords, why is she choosing to be kind of like a shitty CEO? Like,
Yeah.
we see even
It's
within
the same kind of notes you had the other time.
Yeah, she's not as cartoonishly evil as Kang was.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like they show her that she's shooting a scene for some kind of HR video about diversity.
Yeah.
And then she's like, there's too much diversity. Like, she's not saying it in the way that we understand it, but she's definitely saying it in a way that's like, I'm tired of this shit. And then even with like, she's like, oh, everyone can go home at 5. Well, unless they have work to do. Then they have to stay later than 5.
Right.
And it's like the very out of touchness of a CEO. So I think they have the elements there, but they're not hitting it as hard as other recent movies that have hit it as hard.
Or Kang himself.
Or Kang, yeah. I'm thinking like, if you think of like The Menu.
Sure. Sure.
Like other movies that have very much a big eat the rich vibe. Yeah. This one is like, we understand that character, but it's not so much about that, which I think allows the alien stuff to be cooler, like to come in and be more about the character. Because it's not about that she's an evil rich person. It's about that she's an evil alien, essentially.
I kind of want to get into like a little bit. I think you're onto something about the idea of like, what is it about the idea that like maybe it's better that she wasn't an alien? What is it about like that? Like if they went that route, what do you think that would have made that story a little stronger?
Well, I mean, knowing that now that I know the ending is the ending, that either way humanity doesn't make it, but in looking at the film, I think Teddy being right that there's aliens and her not being an alien, those as two coexisting ideas would have been interesting together, because she still would have gone through all of the same trauma, and to her it would have been for nothing.
Right.
But then the fact that he's right, he like we said with Lee, he was the hero.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah.
He was trying to save Earth, but he was just focused on the wrong person because he was focused on someone who wronged him. Like, these are like little tiny things. Like, because I'm really, it's not so much that aliens, that he was right that aliens exist. I like that. I like the idea that he was right. But it's just that, like, wow, he really nailed it. He got the right person. Like, that just seems so unlikely. And also, like, as a character, I feel like it's more interesting that she's not an alien. But I don't know. It does kind of work for me. I just,
but
I can see it both ways, I guess.
But I kind of see what you're saying, though. I think specifically more in this movie than the other movie. I think having him revealed to be an alien in Save the Green Planet, I think, is the best ending for that.
Yes.
But for some reason, there was something about this ending, and I kept going, are you going to do it? Because I was like, kind of almost, like wanting to see if they'll commit to like the wildness of what happened. But I think because of the shift in terms of what they're trying to say message-wise, I don't know if it's as strong of an ending with the shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason maybe why this movie, while I can appreciate 100% that it's its own thing and it does its own thing with the structure of the other film, that I can appreciate the different approach and the different tone, and I can and be admiring the fact that they went ahead and made a movie that is not a sad carbon remake of Save the Green Planet, but its own entity and its own artistic approach. The ending does make that approach also makes me not sure if the ending lands the same way, and I wonder. I don't know what a better ending would have been, but I can't help but feel like the message got a little muddled, like you said, with keeping her as an alien and making Teddy right, especially because this Teddy has less sympathy than Lee.
I think so. Yeah. Even that it's really like impressive.
Yeah.
That Yorgos. I mean, it didn't start with Yorgos.
Yeah.
But what we ended up with was, you can't claim that it's nothing new.
Nothing New, a Remake podcast, is part of the Benview Network. To hear our other podcasts, visit BenviewNetwork.com.
And don't forget about our Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can get access to bonus episodes.
Thanks for listening, and please follow us on Instagram at NothingNewPod.
Or watch our episodes and bonus content on YouTube.